fighting for equity. Tonight, a damning letter from UIW student athletes leaked on Twitter. Women's soccer players allege inequality and inequity for female student athletes. In the letter, they cite a miserable out-of-town trip and having to tape and super glue their cleats, among other claims. KENS 5 tracked down the former employee of the UIW athletic department who posted the letter on social media. She told our Henry Ramos, enough is enough.
This year, at least 5 players' cleats were falling apart 2 weeks into the season. Our solution was to tape and super glue them back together every weekend.
Margie Olivares is reading a letter she posted on her Twitter. It was reportedly written by 2 UIW players of the women's soccer team.
Disheartened for the fact that these student athletes, felt the need to put this down on paper.
Olivares used to work for UIW in the athletic department as a media relations coordinator.
Having worked there and noticing coaches always advocating for their athletes, to me it was more of like why did it get to this point? Why is this happening?
The letter was brought to her attention this week. In the first paragraph, the 2 women's soccer players write about wanting to address inequality and inequity. The 2 write about travel, nutrition, and equipment in comparison to the UIW football team. They say women's teams receive the leftovers. They say, quote, the much larger underlying issue that arises is when we no longer get what we need because football needs a little more luxury. The example they gave, the women's soccer team having to ride the short bus because, quote, football needed the long ones to be shuttled from the airport and back. They write about the team having to stay in a motel room that smelled of cigarette smoke. They say the girls slept with their jerseys over their heads to help with the smell. The letter, at least 5 pages, has gained traction on Twitter. I asked Olivares her reasoning to post it.
For people to see the inequity that lives in women's sports all around. Their student athletes aren't asking for big things.
So we're live just outside UIW tonight, and UIW did tell me, they confirmed to me that the students who wrote the letter, they actually read the letter to a group on Monday, and that group is the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Now, in response to the claims made in this letter, the university about 3 hours ago sent me this response. I'll read it to you. It says, quote, the University of the Incarnate Word takes all student concerns and questions of equity very seriously, and the health and safety of our student athletes is and always will be our top priority. The university has already started working through its extensive processes to assure that we remain in compliance with all university rules, regulations, and standards, and that the concerns listed by the students are heard and fully taken into account, end quote. Of course, if anything develops out of this story, we'll make sure to let you know. We're live outside UIW tonight. Henry Ramos, KENS 5. EC's.
Thank you, Henry.